Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Theology on the Screen. I know everyone is loving this series, so we're going to keep doing it. This is episode 4 of Theology on the Screen. I am your co-host. My name is Caleb. Over here on the couch, we have my other co-host.
Yes, I am Evan, now with 80% more coughs. You will hear a lot of coughing this episode, which is unfortunate, but it's just what it is. I'll cough in this direction.
Yeah, of course. Both ways.
Sounds like
Yeah, exactly.
And yes. And to my right here is our guest.
My name's Malcolm. It's good to be on the show.
Big longtime fan.
Longtime fan for sure. Longtime friend, I would say too. If I
yeah. So how did we meet, Malcolm? What do you?
could. We met at CLBI, and then we met in Fall Hike.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, I didn't know if I like this guy for real. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. And then over the years, we were like, I don't know. We just our friendship just like. It was a thick and thin kind of thing. Like we were there for each other here and there, and then we did Hastings together, and that brings me over to Evan. And I knew Evan because I'd been to Caleb's house a few times, but we kind of met at Hastings. And
Yes, he was my boss.
I was.
Whoa.
I was.
Never again.
Never again. No, it was kind of rough. No, I'm just kidding.
Good boss. Good
It
guy.
was really great. Wait, can we go there? Can we
Did a good job.
No, it was really
Cut
fun.
that out.
Yeah, Evan was really awesome. So he's bringing a lot of energy to Hastings this year because I'm not there this year. But he's in my stead, not mine in particular, in anybody's stead. Like he's filling a lot of awesome, joyous role. Like an awesome, joyous role.
Say more.
So I could. Program assistant. Just good at his job in general, really. So yeah, that's how we kind of met each other.
Yeah.
Cool.
And one of the things that Malcolm and I really bonded over during our time at CLBI was film. We're both quite Evan as well. We're all three of us big film buffs. So you may hear a lot of rambling
potentially.
in terms of the filmmaking and so forth in this episode. We'll try to tame
Do our
ourselves.
best.
a
Yeah,
little
try to
bit.
keep it theology on the screen, not just on the screen.
It's just a film show now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so for this episode, we're going to be covering a film that I think we all enjoyed it for the most part.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I have thoughts.
Debbie Downer over here.
Good.
I like that that's become your role.
Yeah, we watch movies. Caleb's like, I love it. It's an incredible film.
Yeah.
You have to watch it like 3 times. And I come on and I'm like, I did not like this movie
That's good, though.
at all.
That's good.
It's good to be
That brings a good
critical.
dynamic, I think.
I'm the kind of the guy. I saw this like meme recently where it's like anytime you see a movie and it's like the standing up Shia LaBeouf like standing ovation. That's me. I'm like 5 stars on Letterboxd. I'm like, I love this. I love this new favorite movie.
It's like, so the film we're covering today is Les Misérables, I think is how you say
Les
it.
Misérables.
Misérables.
That kind of
there
thing.
it is.
Less miserables.
Les
That's what we
Misérables.
said we go. We're not gonna pretend like we can do French.
Which is so specifically we're covering the can't remember what year it came out, but it's the one starring Hugh Jackman, doing a great job as a host. The one starring Hugh Jackman,
He's done his
Russell Crowe,
research.
Anne Hathaway, some other wonderful people.
Yeah.
Eddie Redmayne.
Oh,
We got him in there.
of
Was
course.
that-
Eddie Redmayne.
And also, were you not
Oh,
shocked?
Sasha Baron Cohen.
Borat?
Is that who it was?
That's
I
Borat.
was trying to figure out.
Did you know that? Like when that came out, and the lady who plays Bellatrix Lestrange as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like from the Harry Potter series, she was in it too, and they were electric.
Right.
They
Oh,
were
so good.
like at the very end when they're being carried out at the wedding. I'm howling the whole time. Like
Yeah.
at first, right before the wedding, I was bawling,
Yeah.
and then when they're being carried out through people and still singing while they're being carried out, I was like, I didn't know how to feel because I'm laughing the whole time, but I could feel the salt like drying up. I'm like, it was good. It was amazing.
He enters the movie and just changes everything.
100%. Yeah, the dynamic is just
Yeah.
flopped. It's great.
So yeah, if any of that rambling sounds the least bit interesting to you, please stay tuned for this episode of Theology on the Screen. We're going to dive into Les Mis, and we're going to talk about some of the theological / spiritual, specifically, but it's a very Christian movie, I find.
Yeah.
But so a lot of the Christian elements that we found and we want to talk about. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna dive right into it. So before we do that, we kind of already got into this a little bit, but what are your guys' thoughts, like general thoughts about the film? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What are the
I'd love to hear yours first, just because of like the introduction.
So I'm not the biggest musical fan already. I like myself a good couple of musicals. I used to grow up listening to Hamilton all the time.
Yeah.
Nonstop is a good song. But I'll tell you what, they sure do sing in this song.
Yeah, they be singing the song.
I really enjoyed the dynamics of a lot of the characters, like Jean Valjean,
Jean Valjean.
Jean Valjean, and Javier, Javier, whatever. I love their dynamic. That's my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like
Like at the end when he drops the pistol.
oh brother, every part of it.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. It's very, very. I'd almost say Jesus and Judas.
Totally.
That's what I was gonna say, but also like we'll get into it a little bit later. I was thinking
Interesting, yeah.
Jesus and Peter,
Oh
Yeah.
brother.
because the denying. And
Oh
stuff,
brother.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every movie is just Jesus and Peter.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
awesome. I really enjoyed that stuff, like the romance subplot, with.
Mhm.
For that specifically, my eyes just glazed over,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I hear
oh,
what you're
she's
saying.
singing again about
Yeah.
this. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Oh really?
But I would realize I'm probably in the minority in that.
Unfortunately, in this
Unfortunately,
case, yeah. I was cheering from the stands. Yeah.
Yeah,
A little bit.
It's good. Somebody has to.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just a lot of singing, and I remember I like checked the length. Maybe it wasn't a great time to watch the movie. I was tired, just got off work, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, just struggling to stay awake. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
But I checked the time. How far are we in this movie? And I'm thinking like, okay, we're like at least like we're heading into the third act, and it's 39 minutes in. I'm like,
Wow.
oh brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot happens, like a lot of time jumps and stuff. So much.
Yes, that is very true. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't love most of the music. Song at the end, beautiful. The motif with from the beginning song that keeps going throughout.
Look down. Or
Incredible.
no?
Yeah, look down.
Yeah. And
So
then he's
good.
looking down.
And then he's looking down.
Javier is looking down.
Oh, really, really
That
good.
dynamic is. Good.
That's all awesome.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't know. I wasn't super hooked, and it didn't. I just didn't love the music, and I think that's a big part of the singing was hit and miss for sure, but I think that's comes with the territory.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Totally. Awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the beginning first act. I think it drags a little bit, and then I think it ends on a really high note, especially the
It ends
sequence at
really
the end.
strong, Yeah.
That was the highest, the emotional high for me was the end there where they're all on the barricade.
Yeah. And they're
Everyone's
singing- they're
there.
Yeah. That's
Good stuff.
insane.
Heaven.
It's really good.
I wonder how they did that shot. Heaven. Oh, good. Return to Eden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I like that.
Oh brother,
Feeding off each other.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
those are my thoughts.
Cool.
Awesome. Before I get into my thoughts, and we'll get into her thoughts here. This is Roma. She's our other guest here today.
Yeah.
This is my lovely cat. So you'll get to hear her thoughts about the film as well, I'm sure,
Yes.
on her mic. So to be super brief, like Les Mis was adapted from a book, right? That was written way back when, and then it was adapted into a play, and then adapted into a film, right? And I love theater so much. So like when you're talking about like the things that you didn't necessarily like weren't super hooked with, those are the things that I think are better with theater. So like the
I
things that you would
agree.
feel more, and you'd be like, yeah, the singing as well. Like it would have been more powerful if like the show.
A lot of the times as I watched it, not to hijack your
No,
opinions, but I was thinking, I was thinking like this. I feel like this would be better with theater, right? Where there's all these little like sequences where they're doing like crazy stuff, and I'm like, this is less impressive because it's a movie.
Yeah.
I think the cinematography, I didn't love it most of the time. I think it's a lot of like just camera up in your face
and
it's
montage
like,
that's really flashy, and then the Dutch angles also don't work necessarily,
Yes.
because Dutch angles are supposed to like give off that impression of like discomfort, right?
And
And
the
then
guy
a
just
lot of the
standing
scenes
there.
you're like, I actually don't need to feel discomfort
Yeah.
here. It doesn't make
I'm just tilting my head now to see the
Yeah,
scene of two
exactly.
people talking.
a little bit disjointed.
Yeah, I think that does hurt it a little bit because I could see how this would be more powerful and more impressive on the stage.
On the stage,
Yeah.
100%. And that's what I found. Like when I was watching the film, in my mind, all I'm thinking about is how do you do this show? Because I should have seen it. They did Les Mis at the other high school in my hometown, Camrose. So I didn't go to it, and I haven't seen the actual show. I haven't seen the Broadway, so I feel like a bit of a drama fraud because of that. But every time I'm watching scene for scene and the sets and stuff, I'm thinking, how do they do this in the real show? Like, because this is so immersive. I felt like the backgrounds were quite good. I felt like every time, like the sets, costuming and props. Like if you're talking about the look of the movie, not related to the camera, amazing, immaculate. I think they're right on. I don't know time period stuff, but I think they are right on for all of that stuff.
Sure.
So that's something that really kept me in it. And other than that, I think you talked about most of the things I wanted to talk about. Like I'm really eager to talk about the theology in it. So if you want to talk about your first impressions, we can jump in.
Yeah, so it was, I'll say that the first act had me like absolutely enthralled. Like I loved so much of the stuff that was happening there from the first shot, and all of the slaves, including Hugh Jackman, are like reefing the ship into the port because they're just doing like slave labor kind of thing. And it's just, water is like, crashing onto them, and it's like, okay, here's baptism, here's new birth, because he's about to be paroled and go out into
I did not think about that. That's
just
great.
so from the onset I was like, oh, okay, like this is very theological kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, and I couldn't wait to see more. And we'll go more into theology, but I guess just in brief, the first act is very rich with a lot of the theology stuff, everything with Hugh Jackman's character and just kind of the redemption that he experiences, and then he's, I would say everything up into the time jump, that's all fantastic. Like I was totally, it felt fast, it felt like well paced, and there was just so much happening there that was so rich, and I love the first act.
Totally.
Going into the second act, I kind of agree with Evan, I think a little bit. Second and third act, like I think definitely, I think the pace slowed down quite a bit, and it's like, okay, and then here's this Marius character, and here's Cassette, to know you want me to get invested in this, and you want me to get invested in this cause, but I don't know Marius, I haven't been with him from the start, kind of thing. So it's a little bit difficult for me to get invested here. But everything with Javert and Hugh Jackman, Jean Valjean, all the way through was fantastic. It was strong. It was the tether that was kind of like keeping me invested, and like I want to know what happens. What's the resolution?
How does it end? Yeah.
What's the resolution going to be between these two characters, and just like what it represents theologically?
It was like a who kills who, I think, is what it felt like.
Yeah. Who's going to win out? Yeah.
Who's going to win out?
Yeah. I wonder if Jean Valjean had played more of a direct role in the revolutionary stuff, if I would have been able to invest easily.
That would have been
more.
so.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like if he was a central player in it, kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I think that would have done it.
Or if he was like if he was even a voice of like, this isn't the way, kind of thing. Yeah. So that's initial thoughts. I think we have some similar thoughts, but also some varied thoughts in some ways. So the theology of this movie is very much. This is to me, this is a Christian story with Christian characters, very strong Christian elements, and God is front and center through it all. What are some of the elements that you guys noticed in the first act that you thought were really cool?
Go.
Right off the bat, Jean carries his cross, the flag of France.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's lots we could talk about that. But what does that represent to you guys?
Yeah.
Because obviously
I
it's
have
there
a few
for a
thoughts,
reason.
I think.
Yeah.
Because it starts out where he picks up the huge flagpole right at the very beginning, and that's how it works. And then afterwards, there's the man who's being crushed by the pillar, right? And he has the same thing, and then also Javert sees him do it again and is like, wait, I recognize you, but he doesn't fully recognize him at that point, which is crazy. I thought instantly he would know, but seeing Jean Valjean do that again, but this time it's not for the person that's overseeing it. It's not for the boss, the man. He's doing it for like a poor man who's gonna die, basically, if this doesn't happen. So I think there's like it feels like his character is a Messiah style figure,
Totally.
but a shifting Messiah.
Mhm.
Like I think in your past episodes you kind of talked about a fallen Messiah, and that's really interesting. But I think he's got a bit of like a Messiah shift where he either shifts into it or he shifts a little further away from it. It's not necessarily that he's just like completely fallen, because he does do quite a lot of good,
Yeah.
like picking up that pillar and saving that man. That's a lot of good, and it comes around to him too.
Sure.
Like he sees him later in the film, right? And he's like, "You're the man who saved me," and that feels so much like a Jesus moment of like, "Wait, I know you because you're the man who did good that time, right? Or you've done that good for." Usually for Jesus it's like mass good, right? Like healed so many people or those kinds of things. But that noticing, that like seeing him and being like, I know you.
Yeah.
And it felt like a bit of love there. It felt like they had this love that they hadn't just like put any sort of label on or anything like that. They were just like, no, we care about each other because of this. So I thought that was so powerful.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of the kind of cross image there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if it was more that Javert recognized his selflessness.
Or Jean Valjean?
That Javert recognized Jean Valjean's like selflessness and willingness to help people and like that kind of spirit. Maybe that's what he recognized more than the actual action of like lifting. And he's like,
wow,
I've seen this before. Because that's like when you encounter grace, you know, and it leaves an imprint. You know, when you kind of encounter like God's, you like when you even as in for someone who's not a believer to have moments where, you know, they receive like an undeserved kindness or like they see grace at work, and it's like,
it's
you know,
illogical.
you remember it, and it's like it just
stands
kind of,
out.
it leaves an imprint.
Well, I think you're touching on a good thing, because I think humans in general have this like, when grace happens, it feels unnatural.
Sure.
Like or it doesn't feel fair. Like they don't feel like they deserve it.
Yeah.
Right? That you don't deserve grace. That's like a big thing, especially for like my faith journey and stuff, has been learning how to like accept grace and accept things like forgiveness. So I think, he sees this very humble, very selfless act.
Yeah.
And then something happens there where he's like, this doesn't feel normal. Something feels wrong and distant. And that's kind of, not even kind of, that's Jesus's walk, right?
Yeah.
It's all the people looking at him doing the things and being like, something about this isn't right. Like I think about the Sabbath, right? Picking in the field during the Sabbath, and the Pharisees are like, you can't do that. You're working. And then Jesus is like, but my friends need to eat, so they're going to eat. And it's such a like a paradigm shift that I think is happening there.
Totally.
Oh,
Totally.
man.
Yeah.
I'm hijacking a little bit. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I want to see, because I in my mind I'm bouncing from topic to topic kind of thing. I just want to, maybe we should try to walk through the events chronologically. Might be
Sure,
helpful just for structure wise.
I think we did too. Like bringing cross image is strong.
Totally. Yeah. I just know because my thoughts are so scattered, and I
Mine
just
too.
want to talk about this and this and this.
Oh.
But let's quickly return to like the very beginning, and Jean Valjean is being paroled. His last act as a slave is carrying that cross, kind of thing, and then, or in other words, carrying, you know, his sin, his shame, his guilt, and then Javert says to him, "You're being paroled, but you will bear the shame of your crime till the day you die." Like you were on parole till the day you die, kind of thing. And I think that just speaks to like, and like when he talks to the parole officer, and the parole officer gives him his parole papers, he's like, "You will forever be known as a dangerous man." And all he did was steal a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
But that just speaks to like the condemning and like crushing weight of the law, kind of thing. You know, where it's like you break one commandment, you break one
Sinner.
And you are marked with that forever. Like we are like eternally cut off from God when we break the law, kind of thing. And that's just like, you know, and the law, God's law is a good thing. Obviously, it's like it's his standard for humanity, but he also knows that we can't possibly bear it, kind of thing. But Javert just represents that kind of crushing. And the way he follows him and hunts him down throughout the course of the movie, the law is haunting him and trying to like drag him back to, you are condemned. You are still in sin. You are still,
and he believes it too.
Yeah.
That's the thing I wanted to mention is like, even by the end of the film, that's what he dies to, is like, I cannot tell because this
right. He's
thing
still
about
ashamed
me.
of it.
He's so ashamed, and it's a piece of bread to save
Yeah.
his family, because his sister's
Yeah.
kid. So
Yeah. So what do you guys think of that? Like how Javert kind of represents like he's just the law and like the way that it crushes you, and there's no grace. Javert has no grace. He has no mercy. He's just all business kind of thing. And he has in his solos, he kind of talks about that too, where it's like,
don't forget me.
Don't yeah.
Is
don't
that what
for-
you're gonna talk? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna talk about.
He's got lines that are like, the path of the righteous, or those who walk in the path of the righteous will have their reward. But if you fall, as Lucifer fell,
Yeah.
Judgment, the flame, the sword kind of thing. Just that sort of, you mess up once and you're done. But I'm sorry, what do you guys think of the character of Javert?
Yeah, I for sure got the if Javert is law, Jean is gospel, and in a wider sense, Javert is the result of putting your trust and faith in the law as opposed to the gospel, and how that ultimately kills him.
Yep.
If I could cut ahead very, very far,
Yeah.
one of his last lines is, "I am reaching, but I fall," and I immediately thought of he's doing it. He's doing it.
effort,
And it's not enough.
Sure.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Man.
Totally.
No, that's super powerful. That got my brain on that train, and now I completely lost what I was thinking about, because that's so powerful. That's actually so incredible. What I was thinking is that he's this element of the law, but also like what you were talking about basically, which is like when you try to follow the law, and the law followers and Pharisees style, right, where you're living by that code, and then when something else comes along and tries to challenge that code, people get very like violent almost, right? Like I mean, duh. Like Pharisees get violent because they kill Jesus, and that's as violent as it gets. That's the most violent death that somebody can have at that time, for sure. So he's embodying, I think, definitely the law as its like structure and how it functions, and then also the people who do follow the law, how they act towards other people as well. And I think the "don't forget me" at the beginning, when he's talking about his power over Jean Valjean,
Right.
and then Jean Valjean responds with, "I am Jean Valjean," is what he says. He says, "I am this," and then, "I am Jean Valjean." He says his name, and I think that's such a like, I think it's a powerful image of, you are bound by these rules and this thing and this code, and that's what you live by, and that's how you survive. Like, that's how he makes money. That's how he, that's probably morally how he copes with everything that he lives for. And then Jean Valjean is a person. Jean Valjean is like also getting by, and I think that's a lot of their strong dynamic, that they're fighting back and forth, and that's where I think law and gospel comes in.
Yeah.
Because the law doesn't win out, and I think that's the most powerful thing, is that if these are allegories for law and gospel, and they're learning from each other in that way, like, okay, if sorry, I'm kind of jumping around a bit, but in the church, right, at the very beginning, where there's that huge gospel moment of he steals all the things, and then the priest is like, no, those are all his,
And he gives him even more.
and he gives him even more. He gives him the candlesticks, right? I think that is such a, the law loses in that. The gospel wins, and then the law loses.
Sure.
And it feels great. It feels like I think it's one of the best parts of the movie. Like, I was jaw dropped, because I was like, this is such a powerful image of prodigal son style.
Yeah.
Open arms, you can have whatever I have is yours. This earth that I made is yours, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was so strong. I think that their dynamic it feels so law and gospel, and it's beautiful that at the end you were talking about, law kind of, what is he falls, and what does he say?
I'm reaching, but I fall.
I'm reaching, but I fall.
Yeah.
It doesn't
enough.
win out,
There's no salvation in that. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
And what do you think
yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
I'm also tangent.
No, it's okay. We could probably talk about this for like 3 hours.
Law and gospel, just as
Yeah. If you haven't thought of it, but just really quick, I think it's like, it's important too to recognize that the law is not like evil. You know, like the law is not the bad guy. The thing with Javert is he puts his trust in the law. He puts his identity in the law. He puts his, everything into the law. and like this is the path of the righteous, is to live by the law, and
Mhm.
if you live by the law according to the law, you will have your reward, and you'll be. But if you fail, if you fall, then even once, even if you take one piece of bread, you will bear that shame till the day you die, kind of thing. And so it's just like there's no mercy. That's the problem.
Yeah,
It's
they
all
mention
law.
mercy a lot. Yeah.
And so he's very fair. Like he is a Pharisee in a lot of ways. You know, he's where it's just like, you know, but yeah, he just takes it so far, and there's no room for grace. There's no room for mercy. So it's not that God's law is inherently. I mean, God's law is still has a lot of use for us in teaching and guiding and instructing and all those things, right? But there isn't salvation in there.
Exactly.
And
It's Old Testament.
Javert is kind of just like, he's there to kind of show us what happens when you take it to the extreme and you don't leave room for grace, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love how Javert is frustrated and confused and just doesn't know what to make with Jean Valjean forgiving him over and over again, sacrificing himself.
Yeah.
When
it's
he
like
pardoned,
Javert, you said he's haunting him. I think Jean Valjean is haunting
absolutely
him. Yeah.
But that just speaks to how the law is just confounded and just dumbfounded by grace, right?
Yeah.
It's where it's just like, what is this? I don't know what this is. I think this is beautifully represented in the scene where, so Javert thought that he recognized. Well, he did recognize Jean Valjean.
Yeah.
And so then he reports him. I found this prisoner, 24601, to whoever, and then he gets word back. We have prisoner 2461 in custody, and he's going to be prosecuted, kind of thing. And he's like, because it was a case of mistaken identity, right? And then Javert goes to Jean Valjean, hat in hand, and he's like, I've committed a terrible crime against you by falsely accusing you, Mr. Mayor, of being this prisoner. Persecute me, punish me to the fullest extent of the law. So he holds himself to the same standard as everyone else, which I think is really interesting, right? He's consistent like that. And he's going there expecting to lose his job. He's going there expecting to wind up where Jean Valjean is. You know, again, like if Jean Valjean deserves to be punished for the rest of his days for stealing a loaf of bread, how much more do I deserve this punishment for this case of false accusation? But then, again, a great example of how the law is confounded by God's grace. Jean Valjean is like, I forgive you. This is a trivial matter at best, you know. And I just love the look on Russell Crowe's face. He's like glitching out almost. He's like, he doesn't know what to do with this. He's just like totally perplexed by it. Like what? And then he just kind of like, you know, bows and shuffles out of the room, just totally confused by it.
And how often have we felt that too? Like, that's such a beautiful thing about Jesus, and especially like at camp. Like that's what I think. It's like a lot of these kids are experiencing this kind of grace and thing for what feels like the first time. Like they have been experiencing it in their life and they probably haven't recognized it, but a lot of them are like recognizing it. Like I think about Passion Play, and they're like, wow, this grace is so powerful. This is I feel this to an extent that I've never really felt it before. And Jesus finds a way to just say, cut deep. So
Absolutely.
You also had a thought. Do you remember?
Yeah, but just on the point you were making, I think that's what's beautiful about grace, and specifically like ministry, like Bible camp and stuff, is the opportunity to express this supernatural grace that is illogical. And like, this is something else. This is not from me. I couldn't do this on my own. Lord knows I couldn't. This is from beyond me. And in Les Mis, I feel like we see almost two different responses to the gospel. Where Jean Valjean, he like agonizes over this incredible grace that's been given to him, where he's committed this crime and he's been given even more in return, more grace, and he's in the church and he's pacing back and forth, and that leads to this transformation in his life, and he's no longer 24601. And that's the right response to grace. I think that's how Jesus gets to you. Whereas Javert, he can't deal with it.
No,
he just can't, and he agonizes. He has the same agony that Jean does.
He doubles down.
He doubles down. He cleans back onto the law, and the law cannot save, and it kills him.
Beautifully put. Totally.
The law cannot save.
There's a I mean, Jean's prayer at the start is just like it is so rich. I think I watched it like 3 or 4 times. Like I paused the movie, skip it,
Rewind.
watch it again. Kind of,
So good.
just yeah, like I love what he says about the priest, where he's and this grace that he's experienced, right? This undeserved.
Yeah.
The priest forgave him, didn't rat him out, gave him more silver, kind of thing, and he's like,
Turn the other cheek.
but Jean starts in a place of such bitterness and hatred, you know,
Yeah.
like because he's been in prison for 20 years for stealing a piece of bread, and he's just angry, right?
Yeah.
What have I done, sweet Jesus? What have I done? Become a thief in the night, become a dog on the run. Have I fallen so far, and is the hour so late? Then nothing remains but the cry of my hate, the cries in the dark that nobody hears, here where I stand at the turning of the years. If there's another way to go, I missed it 20 long years ago, so it's hopeless, you know. Like I'm stuck in this forever.
Yeah.
My life was a war that could never be won when they gave me a number and they murdered Valjean. When they chained me and left me for dead just for stealing a mouthful of bread. And he talks about the priest. Why did I allow this man to touch my soul and teach me love?
I have that written down. I have allow underlined
Yeah.
like crazy. Letting it in,
Yeah.
right?
He let it in. He
One
did, yeah.
one thing I really want to talk about, like in the gospel sense of things,
Mhm.
is it's the chasing after, and it's the God like doing all of it and chasing after these characters,
totally.
and then it's not him, you know, earning it or doing works for it.
Mhm.
It's letting it in,
Yeah.
right? And that's such a hard thing for us to understand, and to understand that we're not putting in that effort, right?
Mhm.
It's more about just like opening up to what's already coming your way. What's coming your way for free, what's coming your way for that you deserve, right? Because
Mhm.
you are a child of God.
Mm.
And just opening up, and it just
Yeah.
floodgates basically.
Totally.
So why did I allow this man to touch my soul is such a powerful line.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think about that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
why did I allow this like love into my life? How could I? How is it fair? Like that's a
Yeah.
huge thing at camp and in camp ministry, and a lot of like teenagers are going through and stuff like that. Is like, how is this fair? How is this love fair for
Hmm.
me? And it's all about telling them it's not about it being fair.
Mhm.
It's completely irrational and it makes no sense, and that's the beauty in it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those lines. We
It's
could
such
talk
good
about
stuff.
just
I know,
that
yeah. I
as
know.
well.
I'll just read this last part. One word from him, and I'd be back beneath the lash upon the rack. I love the way his voice cracks, and that's where like
Yeah.
the fact that they're actors first and foremost, I think really shines through in the
Yes.
performance.
Oh,
where it's like
yeah. A little
'cause-
bit of spoken in the
yeah,
songs. I
some
felt
spoken
that.
like spoken word, and then like just the voice cracks and especially in Anne Hathaway
Oh,
solo, which is
brother.
like
Just
the
incredible.
most gut wrenching. I remember just my jaw was on the floor watching her performance. Right,
Rewind
just
as well.
insane.
Kept going back.
Yeah, I
watch
probably
that.
watched it like I'm not even joking. Like 2,000
Would you cry
times.
more and more or no?
Yeah,
Or you just
it would just resonate more and more. Anyway, but so instead he offers me my freedom, and I feel my shame inside me like a knife. He told me, and then there's repentance happening there too, right?
Yeah.
He told me that I have a soul. How does he know? What spirit comes to move my life? There's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I felt
Cutting through, right? Is there another way to go? He ends with, is there another way to go? Yeah, just fantastic stuff. But so yeah, so lots of long gospel stuff happening there, and stuff with God's grace and how that transforms. He's completely transformed by his
Totally.
encounter, right?
Yeah. Grace and mercy.
Becoming the mayor, and then God entrusts him with all of these feed my sheep kind of situation, where now he's in charge of all these workers. So he's not just been forgiven and redeemed and renewed, but he's been given purpose, right? Here's my sheep, and then then Cassette as well. Take care of Cassette, kind of thing, right? So, and that's another part of the gospel and the Christian. We're given a new heart, a heart of flesh, in place of our heart of stone, and we're changed from the inside out. And now God says, "Go and do likewise," kind of thing. Go and make a difference. Take care of my sheep, kind of thing. So there's a lot of that happening there too. So we talked about like how Jean is transformed and like given a new purpose and everything in life, by the grace that he encounters. So there's the entire like latter half of the film is concerned with this like French Revolution subplot kind of thing,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, there's injustice, and we see this all throughout the movie. We see like it's one of the earliest scenes where you see like the poor are like at the clawing at the skate or whatever, and they're singing that cry, look down kind of thing, look at us, see us kind of thing. So like the poor are rising up, the oppressed are rising up, and they're trying to, make some change happen kind of thing. So there's a lot of conversation happening there about, like societal injustice and societal hurt and societal pain. We saw how Jean is transformed by the grace that he encounters kind of thing. Do you think the movie is commenting at all about how societies can be changed, can be transformed in the same way as individuals? Do you think there's like, what do you guys make of that subplot with the French Revolution? What is the message there? Because I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm not totally clear.
Me neither. Do you have any?
I think, well, it was for sure a more recent topic when the book was written, I would imagine, this
Sure.
whole subplot of stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it's, and I would suspect that is almost the baseline, and he's pulling all these themes, law and gospel and things, and how it applies to this current situation that's going on.
Yeah.
It's very much this, I don't know, I mean, it's justice and lack of justice.
Sure.
And how do we respond to that?
Sure.
Yeah, which is a very like common thing back then, to have. You have the common, and then you have aristocracy and things like that, and it's just a huge fight. And especially when it comes to, even in a meta way with Les Mis, writing back then, and Shakespeare writing Henry the Sixth, I believe, that stuff was really coming out. That art and that play, those plays of this dynamic is not fair or just at all. There is something clearly wrong here that we can all agree on, and we can kind of joke about almost. And I feel like Les Mis is not joking about it. Not really at all. They're kind of like, no, there is this injustice. There's this justice and there's this injustice. And the one side believes they are justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other side believes that no, they are injustice. And it's amazing with how the movie wraps up, because then you have the barricade and you have everybody at the end, and that feels like justice. That in anything in the film, that feels like the biggest justice to any of the characters.
You're
So
talking
it's
about at the very end, after
the very end,
Yeah,
where they're on top of the barricade and
Yeah.
they're all singing. You're like, this is how it was supposed to be. This is how it was supposed to end. This is powerful. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing to see everybody together and, fighting against something that has been oppressive for so long. So
Wow.
I think so.
I loved your point of they think this is justice, because I mean everybody in the movie calls themselves a Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which
I
is
think
so
if you didn't, that was
yeah.
like
It's
very
so-
dangerous.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but like it's so funny because there's the Sacha Baron Cohen and his wife,
Yeah.
just like the biggest sleaze bags ever, stealing and
Yeah.
robbing and doing all these terrible things. We're Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what is the word Christian has almost lost any kind of meaning in this,
Sure.
this
Yeah.
society.
In that
Interesting.
society,
Yeah.
and I think it's such a huge commentary on this society,
Totally.
on right
Totally.
now.
Yeah.
Like as
Yeah.
you're talking, so how many times you see we're Christian, and then they do horrific things and they treat people unjustly, right? And they don't give people the love and the grace that they deserve,
Yeah.
basically, like that everybody deserves.
Yeah.
That's what James talked about in the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's the one line where he sees a poor man and he goes, "Great, go in peace and may you be blessed." Doesn't feed him or anything. That's what's happening here. It's-
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting point. Yeah. Everyone here is Christian. Everyone here claims, I guess that just kind of speaks to how, like, depending on who you are, where you come from, your status in life, your class or whatever, your background, your religion, your theological, denominational background, we just have such different, like, priorities in some ways, and different ideas of, like, definitions of what is Christian, right? Like, Javert, all proud and lofty because he's the law, and he's God's law. He's a true Christian because that is what God is
Yeah.
ordered and defined and
unfaltering.
just and
Yeah.
and wrathful against sin
Yeah,
and injustice, right?
that's the word for it.
And then Jean is probably the best representation, or the representation of like what he represents is probably comes the closest I think to, the heart of Christianity, like forgiving
Hmm.
his enemies and caring for the poor and doing all
Saving
these
people,
things,
yeah.
saving people,
Like he saves
being
Cosette's
humble. Yeah.
love. I forget his name, but
Yeah, throwing
Yeah.
himself into the line of
And
fire
also
to
doesn't
save people.
he doesn't tell him,
Yeah.
because the guy, he discovers it later in the film. Oh, you're the person that saved me. He's not there for the honor of it all or anything like that. It's just what he believes is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what grace is all about, and that's what mercy is all about. Is like, it's not this, you did this and that and whatever for me, and transactional. It's not transactional. It's just, here, have it. And then he does, and then he no claim, no wanting anything after.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful image.
Because even like as noble of a cause as like standing up to injustice and fighting injustice, like we see with the revolution subplot, a noble cause. Like this society is unjust. We are being oppressed. We are being persecuted. We have to do something. And like that is, God is in favor of the poor, and God is in favor of the persecuted and the oppressed. So, and that's us. So he's on our side, kind of thing. And we're gonna, and it's not to say that he's not on their side, but because God hurts with the injustice of the world just as much as we do, right? But he's
Could get in on that too. We don't have time, but that's good. That's
it's
really
a very
good.
noble cause, but it ends in ruin, right? Where Marius is the only survivor, and I love his solo where he's in the room and the tables and chairs on, right? And all of his friends are dead, and it's like, for what? For what? We didn't even get we're still oppressed. We're still here, kind of thing. And the frustration of that. And I thought God was with us, and we were doing God's will and all that stuff. Just we see that so often in the real world too, where it's like, what is this? Like, this doesn't make sense. I thought I was walking in God's will, and I thought I was taking up God's cause, but then, like, again, like, and that gets into a whole. I'm not going to sit here and sit on one side or the other and say, if the morality of fighting and killing, like, for a greater
it's
good kind of
complicated.
thing, very complicated, like war that goes into warfare and all that stuff. But but those who live by the sword die by the sword, kind of thing, right? And like, and it's so messy and complicated, and what do you do? What would I do? It inspires all those questions too, and really makes you meditate on that. But I like you were saying with the very end, where they're all on the barricade together, and this is after Jean Valjean has passed away, and so it could be seen as like a heaven kind of sequence. And
well, a lot of them are dead that are like on the thing, right?
No,
because there's the kid, all of them, right? Most of the characters.
So.
It's like there's the kid with the long hair who's also on the barricade, and then I don't know if Jean Valjean is on it as well, but it seems like a lot of people are dead as well, but celebrating along with people that are alive.
And they're all there, and they're together, and it's kind of like a picture of, like,
it could almost be seen as the eventual revelation and the justice to come of finally sin is overtaken by
that. I was thinking like return to Eden or heaven and stuff, but just revelation as a the concept as an idea, like
the sin finally overthrown and grace put in place.
The world returning to this balance again. The way it was intended or created or things like that. And that's what I kind of thought. I think I was talking about with like justice. It feels like justice. It feels right. I think it's because of that. It feels like a return to something that was it was established on, like that France or whatever was established on originally, the people. It feels like it's back in the people's hands, and that's such a beautiful thing. Like democracy is such a beautiful thing when it actually works, right? Like you have the people, and it's so nice to see. But also, even as a bit of a theological connection too, because I don't want to get too off track. The church, the body, right? Like having all of those different elements in it return to that, and when it works, it's a beautiful thing. It's such a powerful, beautiful thing. Sometimes it's not working how it's supposed to. But when it does,
Mhm.
it is this powerful uniting of all of these
Totally.
different people for the same cause because of the same thing with all their talents.
Mhm.
So it's amazing. Like the kids can't do what the adults can do in the war or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But they're still there.
Yeah.
And they're still just as important to the thing. You're not like, oh, why did they zoom in on the kid in the barricade? You're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. And I think that's like the church.
Yeah. Very, very new heaven kind of stuff. Like
As
the new status quo.
as strange as it is to imagine heaven is France.
Yeah.
Right? That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got there and Simon Peter's like, oh.
Oh, good to see the gates.
Hello, welcome to heaven.
Did not expect it to be so pearly.
No, I just didn't expect it to be France.
No, it's fine. Yeah,
No, it's good. It's
love
good.
I like it. It's cool.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Is there like a different part of heaven? Is it not France? Or?
There's it's a purgatory if you want to go sit
Saskatchewan.
there for a while. No, there isn't.
Let's go back. I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's all fantastic. Any last thoughts you guys wanna touch on? Oh, I had kind of a fun question. I don't know. I wonder. I like asking this question. I asked this question in the Tree of Life episode, and I just thought
Oh, I didn't
that
watch
was
that
kind
one.
of cool.
Dang.
Was that?
I didn't watch that one. I just watched the
Oh.
Star Wars one.
I just want to know, what do you guys, where do you see yourself in the story, or like what character do you find that you
Good
identify
question.
with?
That's a great
a little bit?
question.
Yeah,
Man.
I like asking. And because I always I can't help the egomaniac I am. I can't help but insert myself into the whatever story.
Could you start and kind of get the train
Sure.
rolling? I know you're asking us
Yeah,
the question,
I
but
mean-
like, I'm thinking now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you want to be Jean Valjean, right? You want to be a guy who is, but I can't, like, I'm so not Jean Valjean. Like,
Oh man.
the way that he, like,
Excuse me.
the number of times that he's given an out or a chance to kill Javert,
Yeah.
and he puts the gun down, or he
You don't
he
think he
cuts him
could-
loose. Not only puts the gun down, but sets him loose. Go,
Yeah.
get right. Like, he could have like kept him prisoner or whatever, but no.
Yeah.
Like, and when he forgives him, he had two chances early in the movie to be done with Javert, to be done with the whole thing, to have him out of his life forever. When he's like, first when he falsely accuses him, and he's like, "Punish me, Mr. Mayor, punish me," and he's like, "You're forgiven. Go in peace," kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Chance number one, he could have been like, "Yeah, you're done. You're going to the freaking rack," kind of thing, but he doesn't, right? And then again, when the case of mistaken identity, where it's like, how easy would it be to let this man, this guy who they think is Jean Valjean, go to prison in Jean Valjean's place? How easy it would be, how tempting that would be to, I'm off the hook. This is like, you could even, I would even probably try to, justify it as like, this is a sign from beyond that this random person has been mistaken for me. I even he has a line that's something like, who is this innocent who bears my face and goes to judgment in my place, which reminds me of Jesus.
Yeah.
But how easy it would have been, and how tempting, and he has good reason to let this guy go. Who is this guy to me? I don't know him, and and I'm the mayor of this town, and I've given jobs to people, and I take care of people.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to them if I go to prison?
Yeah.
But ultimately his good nature, his nature wins out. His new nature, which is, how could I face God after, if I let this guy go to punishment in my place? How could I face God? How could I face myself? Kind of thing. He does the right thing.
Is that where you associate the most? You feel like?
Yeah. Well, I guess like sorry, that kind of got off point there,
You're
but
good, you're
like, I'm so not Jean Valjean, because it would be so difficult for me to make the right choice, and it'd be so difficult for me to forgive Javert. So, like, he's what you aspire towards, I guess. But so I do identify a lot with that, because his character really created a lot of introspection and made me reflect on myself kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, Jean Valjean is like, he's a Messiah figure. He's a Christ figure. So
Totally.
and it's about Christ. It's not about me. So maybe I shouldn't be trying to insert myself in
No.
there, but
I think it's like when you look at that, you there's a pull towards it.
Mhm.
The same way Jesus, like he had this magnetism to him where people
Yeah.
just like come
Yeah.
to him for anything.
Who is this
right?
man?
Totally. So when you
Yeah.
see that, I think inherently I'm feeling the same feelings of like, I'm
Yeah.
drawn to that character, and
Yeah.
I want to be Jean Valjean in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ways. So I think maybe if I'm thinking on your track, it's like on your best days, maybe you get a glimpse of
Yeah, I come maybe a little bit
Yeah.
close to skirting the line, kind of thing.
like you just like selflessness and humility. It's a very challenging thing to accomplish in any respect, but like once something happens, and not like right after you notice, but like months later, you think about it and you're like, oh, like I haven't got anything back for that.
Mhm.
But what you don't think is, oh, but I should. You think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And that's a
Wow.
beautiful thing.
Totally.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Any more thoughts about that? Because I'm ready.
You go for it. I'm just gonna
Go.
check the time.
I'm gonna jump on.
We'll have to wrap up quick.
Of course, I will be quick about mine.
Perfect.
I forget his name. I'll start with that. It's Cosette's partner,
Yeah, Marius.
Marius.
Yeah.
I think like their budding romance
Mm.
is like a very beautiful thing. For one, like I think that I'm just a romantic myself. Like
Sure.
I can't really like fight against it. When I
Yeah,
see that, I'm
yeah.
like, oh my goodness, that's such a beautiful thing
Mhm.
that I associate with. But also just kind of to serve through love,
Mhm.
but also just to serve in general.
Mhm.
That's something that's so important to me and
Mm.
something that I really love to do. It's why I love
Yeah.
doing camp. It's why I did CLBI, because there were so many opportunities to serve
Mm.
in that way. So when I see his character and he's using this love to create the bond between them, yes, but it kind of brings everybody else together. And I think that's something that I really value is relationship, and I really
Mm.
value like getting close with people and sharing a genuine love, no matter what the circumstance, right? As much as I can give and as much as I can receive,
Mhm.
allow myself to receive, right? That's where I see myself. So I'd
Mm.
say in Marius,
Marius.
in Marius, I see that for myself, but also in the same way of Jean Valjean that you were saying, like there are parts where I was like, yeah, I would aspire more for that, less like I am that, and more like aspirationally, like
Yeah.
I want to love people in that very like earnest
Mhm.
and I keep saying powerful, but like
Mhm.
very tangible way
Mhm.
and clear, yeah.
Mhm.
And
I'm Jean Valjean.
yeah, I knew he was gonna say that. Feel it every day, every single day.
I
Yeah.
played him.
It's actually no
It's
big deal too. I
hard,
played him. Yeah.
No, it's whatever.
It's
I played
really
the Hugh
easy
Jackman.
for me, actually. Yeah, to
No,
be
I-
selfless and to be humble. It's really easy for me. Yeah, good at it.
It just comes naturally. No, but I'm Jean Valjean after the time jump when he's mayor and he's about to help Anne Hathaway's character.
Yeah,
And Javert appears,
Mm.
and in fear he
Mm.
leaves,
Right.
and he lets his
Right.
foreman deal with it, and
And
that's
then everything that happens to her, right?
yeah, and he
oh
feels so guilty of it.
man,
And
you
I
feel like that? Oh my
Well-
goodness, that's
That's real. That's real.
that
Yeah,
is
no,
real.
I mean it's in my mind it's I mean the way fear
Sure.
fear is in its unhealthy sense, it is us not trusting God enough to
Mm.
that he's going to achieve this thing, and
True.
so we give in to the doubt, and we and I think in some ways we're all Jean Valjean here, where
Mm.
we have, and it's very much a Peter thing,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Peter, noble man, he does his best.
Mhm.
He's very he's a lot more boastful and prideful than
Sure.
Jean Valjean, but he just he messes up, and we all mess up, and I feel like fear is such a in its doubtful sense it crops up in all of us, and it keeps
Mm.
us from
God's plan for us.
God's plan for us, and trusting and the results that have
Mm.
that has on those around us.
Wow.
And I just think that scene's so powerful.
Totally.
And he takes on and he owns that failure in his hand, and he does so much to make up for it.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that kind of brings a lot of new light to yours, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're seeing him as this like kind of perfect character, but really not always. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Not always. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm actually the priest. I want to change my
Holy
answer.
and righteous.
Yeah.
I only show
comes,
mercy.
raids my house of all my stuff. I say, yeah, you can take.
Yeah,
this
take my
guitar.
Nintendo. Yeah.
And
Take
yeah.
the,
Take
Lego
the records.
Batman Mothman mask.
Yeah, Lego Batman Mothman mask for sure. All the plants, I'm good. Yeah, good.
Not the records.
Not the records.
I need those.
Not the records. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, I think that about does it for this episode of Theology on the Screen. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode.
Thank you.
Malcolm, thank you for lending
Yes.
us your apartment. That's
Oh,
awesome.
thank you for.
Theology on the screen has never looked better than it
Is
does.
it-
Oh, come on. That's so kind. Thank you so much for pulling up and checking out the space for sure. You'll have to be back here very soon, both of you.
One day, Theology on the Screen will have its own dedicated studio, and we'll get Malcolm.
And I'm coming back for
so
decoration.
come decorate.
We were talking about that for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm also coming back as a recurring guest.
He's actually taking over the show. So.
100%.
Get used to
Hey, my name is Malcolm. I'm the host of Theology on the Screen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this discussion with me. I appreciate it so much.
Of course.
We will catch you in the next one. Take care.
See ya.
God bless.